Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're just going to do an update on Bitcoin and the price against the US dollar. Remember, if you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. Well, Bitcoin today is down 7%, 6.5%. It went as low as $29,000. Oh no, sorry, low of this daily candle was right on the money, $30,000 on Bitstamp. Um, and it seems that sentiment is somewhat changing. Um, we're seeing a lot of videos like I mean, I even made a video about how Bitcoin could drop and still be okay. Data Dash has made a video on if this is the Bitcoin top. So people are now speculating if $42,000 was the top peak for Bitcoin. And on the macro perspective, I would argue no, uh, not yet. I mean, we can definitely drop, and we can argue that this would be a local peak, um, but not the macro peak. I think not the cycle peak for Bitcoin, not yet. Um, but uh, definitely there is a case that this is a local peak, and I mean we've been talking about this for quite some time. All starting from the mid 20,000s, upper $20,000 mark, where we said, okay, it's getting overextended. It's X amount percentage above the 20-week moving average. The RSI is getting insane. Bitcoin needs to chill. But it kept on going, and it essentially doubled and went to $42,000. And now you could say that maybe we're a little exhausted. We're pulling back. We broke the 20-day moving average. And right now, the next thing that we're all looking at is this descending triangle. And we see that Bitcoin right now is below this line, but I would argue, well, you can draw this line here, you can draw it up to the candle body here. Like there's many ways you can draw this line. Um, but what we're waiting to see is just an increase in volume like a big red candle. Like I think like it would have to be like a good double digit candle down below the line. Like from the line down, it has to be like 10% in my opinion for this to be valid, um, to some degree. So like from here, like from the price now, and if it dropped to 27,000 and it closed below, then I think that yeah, this was a descending triangle. We're moving down. Um, Again, uh, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Uh, we are still well above the 20-week moving average, albeit it's coming quick. Okay, keep in mind that the 20-week moving average has been increasing at a rate of about $1,000 a week. Okay, so next week it's probably going to be $21,400, and the week after that $22,400. So it is increasing. It will subside a little bit because the price is going down, so it will flatten out eventually. However, that's going to take weeks. At this point, though, for the short term weeks ahead, it's going to be coming in quick, especially if Bitcoin continues to drop, 5-10% every week. And right now, I believe we are at, let's see here, distance to the moving average. We're about 48% above the 20-week moving average. Last week was 66%. 95% the week before that, and we were at 123% the week before that. So it seems that we're dropping, 30, 40, 30% each time. So next week, we could probably be about like 20% above the 20-week moving average if it keeps on going down like this. High 30s or sorry, high teens, high 20s. It's uh, something that we would have to keep in mind. Okay, and when we're dropping like this, always keep in mind where the 20-week is. As of right now, no cause for concern. We're still well above it. Altcoins can still have the ability to move in times like these. Um, you can argue that the daily for the past 6 days, so to speak, we've been essentially moving sideways. We're at the same prices roughly that we were on the 22nd of January. Um, so keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, this is no bueno, but it's such short-term movements, folks, that it doesn't necessarily concern me too much. Um, when we look at the weekly, I mean, yeah, these three red weekly candles don't look as good. And when's the last time we had three weekly red candles in a row? And you would have to go back to June 8th. Okay, June 8th, where we put in four red weekly candles. It's it seems like a millennia ago since we were at, you know, sub $10,000. So it's been a long time, and um, it's I would say it's a long time coming. Um, these moves here are something that we always need to expect. Um, if you fall into the idea that, you know, it can only go up, I feel you have a high chance of getting burned. From the peak to where we are now, it's about a 27% drop. We've dropped 20% in valuation. Um, and from the top down is again a 50% correction. Now that's only if we drop now, okay, or like within this week. Because remember, the 20-week moving average increases week over week. So next week it's going to be, if we drop down to the 20-week, it's going to be about 21.4. So it becomes a 47, a 48% correction. The week after that is going to be 22.4, which makes it about a 45% correction. So you get my point, where, you know, the slower we bleed, the overall the drop to the 20-week becomes less and less. So yeah, 50% sounds terrible, but that's only if we drop like this week or next week. Um, you know, if we bleed like this, um, 6, 10, 5% each week, this is going to take us a hot minute to get back down to the 20-week. Um, you know, for the rest of this video, I just want us to explore the possibility of, you know, is this the peak? Well, you know, there's number of I would say indicators that can argue that it isn't the peak, the macro peak. And when I refer to a macro peak, I mean month of December 2017 for Bitcoin. I'm talking about a November 2013 Bitcoin. Um, I mean, we could flip it to the BLX and, you know, talk about a July, June 2011 Bitcoin. Like those are the moves that I think are the macro peaks. And the question is, well, it was 42,001 of them. And when we put indicators like the RSI, for example, on the monthly chart, we see that our macro peaks, okay, we don't quite get it for 2011, so that's unfortunate. But for April, November, um, December, we see that the RSI has a pretty consistent hit of about the mid 90s, okay, within the 90 range. And I would consider, you know, maybe perhaps this upcoming cycle, maybe the high 80s. Right now we're at 84. We have a long way to go to the mid 90s, and even you know, it's not going to be an easy move to 80, like 88, 89. So I don't think we have made a macro peak just yet. Um, and that's just really looking at the RSI as an indicator. When we look at um, gains from the bottom to the macro peak. We're talking about, okay, well, that's 36,000, 7,500. And when we look at, say, down 3,300 to 42, we're looking at a 1151. I think the diminishing returns is possible, but this is too diminished. I think we still have ways to go, and something of a 3,000% move, 2,000% move from the macro bottom. So this is from 3,500, not where we are, and not when we're down at $6,000. I'm talking about the macro bottom, and so that I would attribute that to perhaps a 3,000, a 2,000 to 3,000% move is more likely, I think, than an 800% move. Sorry, a 1,000% move, an 1,100% move, um, to $42,000. Um, I think we still have a long ways to go. If you take in, even if you consider diminishing returns, um, it's funny to say, yeah, accounting for diminishing returns, this move is too diminished. For me, it does not make sense. But you can argue that we've only had what? How many cycles have we been into? We had one. We've seen one, two, three, and we're in our fourth cycle. And out of those four, you could only really use two bottom to peak moves, because I won't really consider this one here uh, to be a fully accurate move. Okay, Bitcoin was at a cent. Like there's too much price inaccuracy. I would gather for that move, but at least with this the following move, we can get a better idea, and it was a 36,000% move. Um, so to take that into consideration, that we don't have much data to go off of, but I would argue that even with diminishing returns, this is a little too diminished for me. It's not what I'm expecting. That isn't to say that I'm holding. I mean, I have been selling my Bitcoin. I sold at $28,000. I sold at $34,000. 30. I sold at $38,000, $36,000 on Bitcoin. So I am selling my position while we went up. And at times like these, I'm glad I did, because right now Bitcoin's at $32,000, and there's now talk about it going even further down. And for me, I mean, that could be a buying opportunity sometime down the road. I have now stable coins that I can use at my disposal to repurchase my Bitcoin, because I have been selling my Bitcoin, so obviously my position has gotten smaller. I'd like to see that a little larger. So um, if we do go down, then I have cash reserves to um, get that going again. Anyway, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.